Hi folks, long time no see. Happy to be back after such a long hiatus. But today, I'm going to be sharing a little bit of an interesting insight about some of the questions you should be expecting as a solution engineer during an interview process. I'd like to think, after so many years of interviewing for SEs and solution engineering or systems engineer, I have a little bit of an insight as to what the hiring manager is looking for and how best you can answer some of these questions. So the first question that we often ask at the very start, while very basic, I feel that a lot of candidates don't answer it properly. So it's the age-old question of, tell me a little bit about yourself. Shouldn't you have already read my CV? Shouldn't you already know who the candidate is and what the candidate has done? The quick question is, and the quick answer is, that yes, we do actually know. But sometimes it's very hard to gauge and assess the presentation skills of a particular candidate in a 30-minute interview. So typically what my thought process is, I'll use that session as a means for them to do a self-introduction, almost like a presentation of themselves. So from there, I can kind of gauge and guess and ascertain to a certain extent what their presentation skills look like and feel like in a typical, say, product presentation, so to speak. The next question that's often asked is, what are you looking for in your next role or your next gig for that matter? The reason why hiring managers ask that particular question is for us to understand your motivation and to assess the fit for the role. Sometimes as hiring managers, we don't often share everything and anything to do with the role. We always try to sell you the good bits, but we don't tell you certain things. So by understanding what you're looking for in your next role and your motivation, we understand and we can kind of guess whether that you will be a good fit. My advice here is to be as truthful and honest in your answer because there's really no good way to answer this particular question anyway, so you might as well just tell the truth. The next question is actually one of my favorite questions. It's actually, how do you actually learn a new skill? So as you can imagine, with most SE roles, learning new skill is a given. You go in a new organization, there's new technology, there's a new release, you have a new technology to learn and kind of absorb those information. Typically, what I'm looking for is actually the thought process, not so much specifically what are you doing. So for example, a good answer will be, I'll look up what is the key differentiator for this particular product that we are trying to sell. I'll understand it and I'll look up documentations of it and try to really piece things together. Assuming that didn't work, I will talk to my seniors who have done it before, sit in on a couple of pitches, or maybe sync up with a product manager to understand it further. On top of that, maybe I'm the type that learned through using the product or configuring the product or having hands-on with the product. I might spend some time diving into the product, have a bit of lab time on it, and that's how I actually learn new technology. So never stop short of just saying, oh, I'm a very quick learner and I adapt quickly to technology. You'll be surprised. That is probably the most common answer I get, but you need to kind of demonstrate to the hiring manager exactly how you do it and what are you thinking. The next question is also a relatively popular one. Why are you leaving your current role? Again, my advice here is to be as honest as possible. I understand we all leave roles for various reasons, be it salary issue or you are having challenges with your bosses or just generally if the culture is not good or even a layoff. So there may be various reasons. There is no need to be ashamed of what the reason may be. At the end, we're all trying to interview for a new gig and trying to look out for ourselves. So yeah. In all honesty, most managers truly want to understand why. There's no trickery in this question. The fact that you're interviewing for the job shows me that you want to leave for a reason, and it would be nice to share that particular reason anyway. But just be mindful, whatever reason that you may share may attract a follow-up question. For example, if you were to say, hey, I'm actually leaving because the environment is very political, so just be mindful that the next possible question could be, how do you navigate a political situation if you find yourself in one? Most managers don't actually enjoy having a political employee. The fact that you actually mentioned that as one of the reasons that you might possibly be leaving makes it seem as if, hey, you know what, maybe this particular candidate doesn't like politics anyway. And I'll be very honest, every single manager enjoys having a neutral employee. So my best answer for you here is to say, stay neutral and focus on the deliverables, focus on the job, focus on the work, and try to keep yourself out of the entire political situation. Some hiring managers also like to ask technical questions. Unfortunately, as you can imagine, technical questions is a bit of a tricky one. There's just no way I can cover every single technical aspects of it. I would recommend that you actually do as much research as you can about the organization. Be it YouTube videos, be it analyst reviews, Magic Quadrant, analyst reports, etc, etc. So there's many resources out there, I'm sure you know. Of course, you can always use ChatGPT as well, but just be very mindful and to not repeat word for word what you find on ChatGPT, because I've noticed, and I've actually come across candidates who have used ChatGPT that is very high level, I would say. So just be very careful, because the language that ChatGPT uses, it's very obvious, and most hiring managers can tell if you actually have not done your research. That's all I have for you guys this time around. Hopefully that's been useful, but I'll leave you with one last tip. So it's 2024. Interviews are a little bit different. Take it in such a way that it's not a one-way street. It is not just them interviewing you. It's as much as you interviewing them as well. You need to make sure that it's a good fit for you as much as it is a good fit for them. And with that, hopefully you have a lot more success moving forward, and I wish you all the best.